In the second week of December, DC Comics celebrates the holidays multiverse-style with the release of one of its latest winter specials, DC's Very Merry Multiverse, number 1. And that's the only one of no fewer than 10 titles arriving from the Burbank-based publisher on Tuesday, December 8th. Speaking of winter, DC's Endless Winter event continues this week in The Flash, issue 767, and Superman, Endless Winter Special, issue number 1. Meanwhile, Detective Comics continues with issue 1032, while Wonder Woman continues with issue 768. This series also sees the classic anthology series Black Men Black and White begin anew with the first issue of a 6-part limited series. Elsewhere, Dark Knight's Death Metal gets its latest tie in the form of the last stories of the DC Universe, issue number 1, and the infamous universe resetting story Flashpoint gets the Tales from the Dark Multiverse treatment. Finally, under the DC Black label, American Vampire 1976 continues with issue number 3, and Sweet Tooth, The Return, continues with issue number 2. Here we'll show you a quick preview of these comics and what's to come for DC Comics. Before we start, if you guys find this video interesting, please let us know by smashing the like button. And if you enjoy the content on a video playlist and want to see more, just click subscribe. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell to get the latest updates. Number 1. American Vampire 1976, issue number 3. American Vampire 1976, issue number 3 of the DC Black label is written by Scott Snyder. This 32-page comic book is the third issue of the 9-part story and is worth $3.99 US. The third issue is in full color and is suitable for ages 17 and above. The comic's art and cover was done by Raphael Akabukure, and the variant cover is yet to be decided. Two subterranean showdowns escalate. Thousands of miles apart, rogue American vampires and the last remnants of the VMS chase the only known leads against the Beast's looming plans for world domination. As Skinner's crew fight for their lives aboard the runaway Freedom train in the tongue-infested tunnels of the Southwest, Cal and Travis scavenge the tracks below Times Square for traces of the Beast's terrifying challenger. But when they get too close to the monster for comfort, they're blindsided by the mother of all unexpected twists. Number 2. Black Men Black and White, issue number 1. Batman Black and White issue number 1 is written by James Tynion IV, J.H. Williams III, Paul Dini, Emma Rios, and G. Willow Wilson. This comic book has 48 pages and is the first issue of the 5-part story. The full color comic book will be on a prestige format and will be worth $5.99 US. The comic's art was done by Tradd Moore, J.H. Williams III, Andy Kubert, Emma Rios, and Greg Smallwood, and the cover is by Greg Capullo with J.H. Williams III for the variant cover and Peach Momoko for Talia variant cover. The iconic anthology series returns with a brand new slate of comics, most exciting and innovative storytellers to explore the Batman mythos in stark black and white. Here are some of what to expect in this debut issue. James Tynion IV and Tradd Moore explore the world of Ra's al Ghul and the League of Assassins. J.H. Williams III returns to DC Comics for a trip through the Dark Knight's history. Emma Rios explores the eternal struggle of the Dark Knight. Paul Dini and Andy Kubert pit Batman against an infestation of ninja man-bats in the Batcave. G. Willow Wilson and Greg Smallwood portray Batman in his strangest standoff ever with Killer Croc. With a lineup this strong and a cover by legendary Batman artist Greg Capullo, you don't want to miss the start of this tremendous collection of Batman tales by some of comics' top creators. Number 3. Dark Knight's Death Metal The Last Stories of the DC Universe issue number 1. Dark Knight's Death Metal The Last Stories of the DC Universe issue number 1 is written by Scott Snyder, James Tynion IV, Joshua Williamson, Mark Waid, Gail Simone, Mariko Tamaki, Jeff Lemire, Cecil Castellucci, and Christopher Sabella. This 80-page full-color prestige format is worth $8.99 US and is one of the one-shot standalone story for the second week of December. The comic's art was done by Francis Manapul, and few DC artists with the cover done by Tula Lotte and a variant cover by Gary Frank. The last battle against the Bat Who Laughs is at hand, the final fight for everything in the universe. And while the night is usually darkest just before the dawn, what would be the last thing you do if you weren't sure the dawn would ever arrive? Join our heroes in their waning hours, as we show their journeys for what could be their final moments. Heroes that have fought a million times before, and are keenly aware that this could be their endgame. These are the stolen moments detailing the last stories of the DC Universe. Number 4. DC's Very Merry Multiverse number 1. DC's Very Merry Multiverse number 1, written by Tom King, Ivan Cohen, Derek Frudolfs, Thomas Linowski, Paul Scheer, Nick Giovanetti, Scully Fish, Brandon Thomas, J. Baruchel et al. This 80-page full-color standalone story comic is worth $9.99 US. This DC comic is in prestige format with artists Eleonora Carlini, Dustin Nguyen, Steve Lieber, Scott Hepburn, Vanessa Del Rey et al. Doing the artwork for the comics. The cool cover was done by Ivan Reis and Joe Prado. Joy to all 52 worlds. It's time to celebrate the holiday season across the DC multiverse. And 10 stories that will light your Yule log and spark your eggnog. Batman decks the gaslit halls. Lobo goes Old Testament in space. Ragman learns a true story of Saturnalia. President Superman attempts to figure out how Bizarro stole Christmas. And Harley Quinn tries her hand at interdimensional caroling. These seasonal sagas are sure to help you have yourself a very merry multiverse. Number 5. Detective Comics, Issue 1032. Detective Comics Issue 1032 is written by Peter J. Tomasi. This 32-page full-color DC comic book is worth $3.99 with cardstock variant cover worth $4.99 The artwork and cover for this DC comic was done by Brad Walker and Andrew Hennessy, and the cardstock variant cover was done by Lee Bermejo. Father vs. Son Round 2. Batman and Damian Wayne are once again butting heads after Bruce uncovers the missing black casebook pages in the clutches of his estranged son. But when the notorious Hush captures the entire Bat family, the Dark Knight and the former Boy Wonder must put aside their differences to help Nightwing, Batgirl, Signal, Orphan, Red Hood, and Batwoman survive. Number 6. Superman Endless Winter Special Issue Number 1. Superman Endless Winter Special Number 1 is written by Andy Lanning and Ron Mars. The artwork was done by Phil Hester and Andy Parks. This is the third one-shot comic entry for the second week of December. This 32-page full-color DC comic book is worth $3.99 with artist Francis Manipal working for the cover and Rafael Gassetti for the variant cover. Endless Winter, Chapter 3. Superman finds himself at the center of an epic battle as the Forces King's hordes of ice monsters come to life. In this frozen onslaught, too much for the Man of Steel. Is this frozen onslaught too much for the Man of Steel? Or can he stop it before it rampages across the chilling wasteland the world is becoming and reaches civilization? The answer to this question comes from an unlikely source close to Clark Kent's earthly roots. Number 7. Sweet Tooth, The Return. Sweet Tooth, The Return, issue number 2 is written by Jeff Lemire, with its art and cover also provided by him. This 32-page DC Black Label comic book is the second issue out of the 6-part story. This full-color comic book is worth $3.99 and is appropriate for ages 17 and above. Father is not very happy with the boy. The boy should have listened to father. Surely every boy needs to play, run and be wild, but the boy can never be free. Not really. Now the boy has done something quite bad and made father very unhappy. Go to your room, young man, but the rooms here are very small and dark and cold, and the boy is not very happy in them. No one is happy, but sometimes, even from a bad time, something special and unexpected can blossom. Number 8. Tales from the Dark Multiverse, Flashpoint issue number 1. Tales from the Dark Multiverse, Flashpoint issue number 1 is written by Brian Hitch. Brian Hitch is also the creator of the comics artwork, with artist David Marquis providing the cover for the issue. This DC comic is also a single and standalone story with full color and is in prestige format. The comic book has 48 pages and is worth $5.99. Spinning out of the events of a world where a single choice by the Flash affected the entire DC universe, find out what would have happened if Barry Fink had not put things right. In a world where the Flashpoint reality really was never undone, where Thomas Wayne still haunts Gotham City as the Batman, and the Amazonian and Atlantean armies still prepare for war, will the Reverse Flash embrace this darker, deadlier world and finally eclipse Barry Allen's legacy? Number 9. The Flash, issue 767. The Flash, issue 767 is written by Andy Lanning and Ron Mars. This 32-page DC comic book is in full color and is worth $3.99. The artwork was done by Clayton Henry, with Martin Santucci doing the backup story art. The cover was done by Peyton Henry with Hicham Habchi for the variant cover. Endless Winter, Chapter 2. As the world's heroes rush to stop the freezing conditions running rampant across the globe, the fastest man alive speeds directly into Black Adam. With the planet losing hope, the Flash and Quanix ruler must find a way to work together. while a story from Black Adam's past reveals his connection to the threat that now returns to end the world with freezing ice and fearsome frost. Number 10. Wonder Woman issue 768. Wonder Woman issue 768 is written by Mariko Tamaki. This 32-page DC comic is in full color and is worth $3.99 with the cardstock variant cover worth $4.99. The artwork was done by Rafa Sandoval and Jordi Tarragona, and the cover by David Marquez. The cardstock variant cover was done by Joshua Middleton. It's Wonder Woman vs Deathstroke. Winner take all. When the newly incarcerated Maxwell Lord turns up mortally wounded in his prison cell, Wonder Woman and Etta Candy are on the case to track the would-be killer. But as the trial heats up, so too does the danger. When Deathstroke the Terminator shows up, you know there's trouble. Can Diana stop the king of all bounty hunters and his god killer daggers? Or will this gaudy bounty be just another trophy for Slade Wilson? Christmas holidays are getting closer as days go by. Luckily, the DC Comics staff and creators never stop in giving us quality artworks and storylines to enjoy this winter season. Let's enjoy all the upcoming stories under a warm blanket and a cup of hot chocolate as we wait for this chilling winter to be over. Did you guys enjoy the new DC Comics that were released? Who's your favourite character from DC Comics? What are the unforgettable moments you remember from the comics? Please shout it down in the comments and let us know why. And also, if you want to give your family a surprise gift for any special occasion, you can always check out our website and look for creative and adorable gifts. This has been Music Chess, your DC Comic news source, signing out.